Welcome to Coach's Corner, everybody. Thanks for watching the podcast here at Hill Kelly Dodge Studios. I am your host, Paul Tripoli, along with my cohort, Mark Hobley, Coach Hobbs, as we call him. And we got a special guest today, six-time Gulf South Conference Coach of the Year, national champion coach. Over 600 wins. Mike Jeffcoat. Coach, thanks for joining the show today.
Thanks. Appreciate you having me, Paul.
Man, it's always fun to have you on, Coach. We got so much to talk about, but let's turn the clock back a little bit. You won 79 games in 2 years, you and your team for the Argos, you as a pitcher. Talk about those years and what you learned as a player, because I think those are when you correct me if I'm wrong, but your tradition and your dynasty and your winning culture started, I think, back then. Talk about Coach Spooner and what he meant to you.
Well, I wouldn't be here today without Coach Spooner, without a doubt. And, it shows you as your life goes along that, I believe in my Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ, and I know when I do his will and believe in his plan, things work out for me. And that's how it's been in my life. And Coach Spooner, I know it's, there's no coincidences. And I had a dream of pitching at Florida State. I went to Chipola Junior College out of Escambia High School here in Pensacola. And I tore my labrum my sophomore year and really didn't have a place to go at the end of my sophomore year. And Coach Spooner called me and said, "Hey, I got a scholarship for you. I've seen you since high school. I think we can rehab you and get you back." And I came in and I really couldn't get back to my traditional over the top. And he suggested I drop down 3/4, and he made me into a closer reliever and really revitalized my career and had a lot of success. He taught me, how to grind through things and not necessarily having to see it, but to believe in it and have faith. And, timing is everything. And, a lot of times things don't happen as quickly as we want them to. And patience is a virtue, obviously. But 50% of the things that Coach Spooner did had nothing to do with baseball. He always used baseball as, a life lesson and something that was a metaphor that what we were going to see as men in life after baseball and how we need to attack it on the baseball field and be able to manage, whether it be our academics and study halls and weight training. And, he talked about relationships and taking off your blinders and looking right and left and understanding that if you want to have success, you need to understand how to work with people, which means being great teammates and understanding that the guy to your left, your right may not be having a great day. He may be having, things going on in his personal life, whether it be relationships or family or what have you. And we have to be open-minded to that. And if the team's going to be close, it has to happen in the locker room. I know that people love the buzzword culture, but culture is organic and it has to be, grown naturally every day through bonding of these relationships and talking to each other about things other than baseball. And we try to do that. And we put our guys with each other, new guys and returning guys, and make them go to lunch with each other or hang out for a week or two. And then after those 2 weeks, we switch it up. And so the guys kind of filter through each other to generate that bond to the very best that we can, because I believe that clubhouse and that culture is what's going to give you the chance to be successful at the highest level. Because once you get to the playoffs, you're playing quality teams, and it comes down to obviously execution on the ball field. But everybody does the X's and O's and the drills and all that good stuff. It comes down to playing together and caring enough to grind it out every single pitch. And I love a great quote by Adam Wainwright. He talked about how he was bouncing back and forth between AAA and the big leagues. And he said he made a decision that every pitch he was going to throw from that point forward was going to be like the last pitch of the World Series. And he said, I did everything I possibly could to actually do that. And so they called me up in the 2006 World Series, and lo and behold, he's in Game 6 to close it out to win it for him. And they asked him post-game, how did you have such poise and all that good stuff? He says, I had done it 100, maybe 1,000 times in my head. And so it was nothing to me. It was just another inning I was pitching. So that's what the elite guys do. They understand how to try to prepare in their mind as if it was the biggest game and the biggest moments. And, you know, you do that as best you can, put your players in those positions, make sure that they, you know, hey, we went through some lumps, man. But anyway, back to Coach Spooner. You know, he taught us all those life lessons. I tried to carry that on. You know, when you're young and you're trying to start out as a coach, obviously success kind of becomes the thing you get intoxicated with, because honestly, it's hard to have a platform to talk about life lessons and all the things you want to do to make an impact in these young men's lives if you're getting fired.
Yeah.
So you gotta figure out a way to have success and do some winning so you can apply all this stuff. But I also figured out, you know, a little bit later than I wanted, that you could do it together. And actually that was the winning formula, instead of driving the players towards the scoreboard all the time and putting that pressure on them. And, you know, again, you've heard all the successful coaches talk about it. You know, it's about developing the player and trying to be the best version of them, and then trying to mesh that together in a lineup and a team.
Coach, no wonder you win, man. You have developed that culture, and it shows on the field. You talked a little bit about visualization. You've seen it that guy, Adam Wainwright, has seen it 1,000 times. On my show, I talk about it specifically, how powerful visualization is. And if you do that over and prepare properly, Jim Thorpe was doing it 110 years ago. Jim Thorpe was using visualization. And then they wonder why I think he's the greatest athlete of all time.
Exactly.
And then you talk about how satisfaction comes from struggle. Absolutely. Guys that struggle together bond together. They, you know, it's what is it, the motto in the Army, right? Never leave a soldier behind. Those guys would die for each other. You know, that's one of the questions you got to ask in your life. Who would you die for? But life's a struggle, man. When they get past, you know, this should be the best time of their life. And, you know, it just doesn't get any easier after that because, you know, bad things do happen to good people. Absolutely. All right, let's get back. 3 out of 4 years, GSC champs. You won 4-3 in the first game. I know that's a crucial game. I want you to talk about that. But then you won 13-7 over number 2 seed Alabama Montgomery. Talk about the early wins, Coach.
Yeah, you know, as I talked about on the post game, I really never talked to our guys about, you know, winning the tournament and this is what we need to do, and, you know, going on and on about the things we didn't do or could have done and should have done. You know, I just said, look, now everybody's going in 0-0. You can look at the seeding all you want. I mean, we ended up finishing 6th in the standings, and that's where we were seeded going in the tournament. But we had a lot of guys with experience from last year's championship club, and things just didn't bounce our way down the stretch. You know, the month of February or the month of April, we dropped 4 straight series, 2 out of 3. We never got swept, but, you know, could have won all those series. And just, you know, sometimes, and we had probably 6 or 7 walk-off losses this year. A lot of it may have been self-imposed. But I told them we had to keep grinding. And a lot of times, you know, as you know, it wasn't about the physical, it was between the ears. And, you know, you start taking those tough losses and, boy, it starts grinding on you. And that adversity right there is when I was constantly challenging them to keep looking ahead, trying to flush it, learn from it, so forth, so on. Right. And you know, we getting ready to come to the tournament, my thought process was, obviously I knew Delta State was a good team. And if we had any chance of, I don't know, confidence or chance of winning it, we needed to win that game. So I told Kevin Johnson, my pitching coach, the plan was to pitch Jacob Heath game 1, you know, Cade Manderscheid game 2, and then Dalton Neuschwander, our All-American from last year, game 3. So I told him the week preparing for the tournament, told KJ, tell Neuschwander, I want him available for an inning to close the game on Friday if we're in the lead, because I want to, you know, make a dramatic statement to the team, even to Delta State. Hey, we're not messing around here. And lo and behold, we had a 4-3 lead, and Neuschwander came in the 9th and closed it out. And I think the players felt it, sensed it, saw what my intent was. We're here to win and not play around. And, man, you know, we came out the next game. Cade Manderscheid came alive. His first 2 at-bats, he drove in 7 runs. with a bases clearing double in the first inning. He came up in the third inning, base loaded again, and hit a grand slam. So we were off and running there, and 2-0. You're sitting in the catbird seat a little bit, but knowing the 3-0 game, you go 3-0, you're going to be automatically in the championship game. It's just a matter of if you have to be beat twice. And lo and behold, we get rain and got to push to Monday, and we don't play on Sunday the third day. Wow. So in essence, going into that day, we knew whether we won or lost, we were going to have to play a doubleheader. And we could be 3-0 and still having to play Montevallo. It ended up being on the 4:00 game. So I told the players, listen, everybody's in the same boat. I don't want to hear any negative complaining, bitching, and moaning about this and that. I said, it's out of our control. Let's go back to the hotel, chill. Both teams got to deal with the same thing. We know we're playing at 10 a.m. Let's go get ready to play. And, man, those guys played like warriors.
Wow, 7-4 win over Valdosta State. And then you crush Montevallo. Thursday game, lost to Delta State by 1 run.
Yeah.
And that must have been a heartbreaker because you were so close. And then you had to turn around, and you guys turned it around again and won it in the championship game.
Right, absolutely. And I don't think people realize quite how your pitching staff and pitchers to play 6 games in 5 days. We essentially played 4 games in 2 days.
Right.
So we played, and for all those pitchers having to do their job to be able to extend us and be able to get us where we needed to get. Just an amazing job by the pitching staff. Caden Peoples, in only his 5th start of the season, goes 6 innings against Montevallo to bridge that gap. Then I was able to pitch, some other guys right there. I think Chase Stanhope threw 2 huge innings for us. And then I threw Major Posey an inning. After, Neuschwander going 5.1 in the morning, and there's Wilkerson going 2.1, already pitching on that day. Had multiple pitchers come back with 2 appearances minimum. And then we come back, and Jacob Heath comes back for his 2nd start on 3 days rest on Tuesday morning, goes into the 5th. It was a long ball game. Delta State hit 5 home runs in that game. And I think 4 of them on sliders and mistake pitches. I don't know why I kept calling those sliders. But they capitalized, and then Cade Manderscheid came in the 6th and gave up a couple solo shots, but he ate up those innings for the rest of the game for us to be able to save Posey and Wilkerson again for that, if necessary game. And then now I'm starting, another senior, Dylan Lawson, and in his only 5th start of the year, and he goes 5 innings and only 1 run.
Wow.
And now I'm, kind of pairing it together. I did Wilkerson 2 and Posey 2 to, win the championship. All seniors pitching, on short rest and just gutty performances.
Wow. Yep. Coach, that explained, you took the words right out of my mouth. And then on the next question, we're going to ask you, how did the bullpen hold up? And you just told us, guys all come through, surprise guys coming in, putting innings together without much runs. But you guys have been hitting all year long. Let's talk a little bit about your son, Trent. So proud of him. Rawlings Golden Glove winner last year. He's a senior. This is his last go around. He's stolen 18 out of 19 bases this year. Coach, you need to let him go a little bit more. Did he get his speed from his mom?
He definitely got his speed from his mom. It wasn't from me. And I would love to let him go more. The problem has been he's in the leadoff spot, and I have Darian McDowell in the 2-hole. And if I steal Trent, they walk Darian. I learned I have to just keep Trent there for them to have a chance to pitch to him. The crazy part is Trent's done great. He, probably wish he'd have hit a little better this year than he has. He struggled early in the season, and he had a 4-for-5 game performance in the first game of the championship game. And, we had a little break there, and he went in the locker room and he cramped up. So I couldn't even start him in game 2. And Kyle Brown made the great suggestion that I just move everybody up 1 notch, which meant Darian McDowell would be leading off and put Dom Presto in the 9-hole and shortstop. So if Trent could come back in the game, he could just plug right in there, and then the lineup flipped right back over as if he started there.
Oh, brilliant.
But
Right.
the brilliant thing that happened there, because Darian, he's got 22 home runs on the year, probably going to be a first-team All-American, already GSC Player of the Year. Hopefully he's going to be a South Region Player of the Year coming soon. But they are intentionally walking him to keep from hurting them, and now he's in the top of the leadoff order. He walked 5 times to tie an NCAA record in a game. Only 7 players have walked 5 times in a game, 2 of them intentionally. And that we drop a 5 spot on them in the first inning to suck the momentum away. And Trent was able to get better and re-enter in the 5th inning, and he didn't get any hits there. But, Darian McDowell's presence has been huge in our lineup. Obviously, with his power, I think the one time they pitched to him, he hit a solo home run.
Wow.
So when you talk about almost lately in that park, it was going out whenever he did make contact for a lot. But Cade Easterbrook carried us in that tournament, and he got hot. Jackson Grabsky, another senior second baseman that was the tournament MVP last year, he made all-tournament team again, along with Darian McDowell, along with Jaden Fryman, another Pensacola product. Tate, him and Darian both played together at Tate. Trent was a senior when those guys were sophomores at Tate. And now they're all playing. Jaden Fryman made the Sports Center top 10, number 6 catch on a diving catch the other night in the championship. He played a great tournament and hit. He came out of the gates and I think hit a couple solo shots in the Montevallo game to get us on the board. His first 2 at-bats, first 2 pitches he saw. Parker Tubb, we've had some things with our team, and, people always go through adversity. We talk about Parker Tubb, another player from Pace, played at Coastal Alabama, and now he's back with us as a junior. Lost his mother while we were there at the tournament, and he had to go back home and was away from us for a few days. And all the guys, we were texting him and telling him how much we were playing for him and missing him. And then he said his dad on Monday wanted him to come back, and he wanted to come back. So we had one of our administrators. Our administration has been so supportive. They always are. Dave Scott, our athletic director, Tony Wynn, our associate athletic director, Megan Barter, all of them have been great. Our staff was up there. Brian Henry, sports information, was up there. But Dakota Lee, one of our associate athletic directors of facilities, was still here at home. He graciously got a rental car, went and picked up Parker and brought him up to the tournament. And so Parker was with us the last 2 days, got to get him in there for defense. He made 2 outstanding defensive catches in 9th innings of 2 games as we put him in as a defensive replacement. So now he's contributing and playing, I'm sure, in honor of his mother. And this just was a special week. And I'm so thankful that I get to continue coaching and being around these guys, because, you have your last practice at Jim Spooner Field with seniors, and you're going to this tournament knowing, hey, we got to win it to get the NCAA bid, and not knowing if we're going to be able to come back and have another practice. And now to have the pleasure of getting to do that is just awesome.
Yeah, another week. Yes, you got a whole week off, Coach. Sir. A whole week to enjoy practices and enjoy the grind. Man, our hearts and thoughts and prayers go out to Parker, man, and his family.
Thank
It's
you.
a tough thing, but man, it can pull a team together playing for something bigger than themselves. Obviously, Darian McDowell is on fire all year. 65 RBIs, batting .417. Trent's not so bad. 332. I know he wants to be higher, but that's pretty good average. Jackson Grabsky, 355, and Cade Easterbrook for 343 with 13 hits in the GSC. And Jaden Fryman making catches all over the place with 8 hits in the tournament. Wow, Coach, that's unbelievable. What are you guys going to work on this week? You still got some weaknesses? You're going to take some rest? You're going to give them a couple days off? What's the schedule look like?
That's the number one priority right now, is rest and, recuperating. We gave them off yesterday and today, and they're going to get with our strength coaches in the morning and get a good workout and stretch and agility. and then they're going to come out and hit and throw on their own. I wanted them to go through their workouts, whether it be the arm care program KJ has with the pitchers and tossing and getting the blood flowing and getting their conditioning in, and hitters coming in their groups, because I didn't want them standing on their feet a lot in a team practice yet. Still wanted that third day as they get their work in. These are mature guys. You don't win championship, in that tournament with that kind of talent without having some discipline, and these guys have that. I mean, at this point, it's not about the skill. It's more about getting them back recovered. And then Saturday, we'll have a team practice Saturday morning and get back to batting practice and taking ground balls and, just sharpening back things up as, a golfer would go to the driving range before he goes back out on the course, That's what that's kind of about. And probably give them off Sunday again and then come back and practice Monday, Tuesday. At this point, they're ready to play. If it was pro ball, you're just playing another game and heading right back out to Wahoo Stadium, what have you, and especially when they're feeling good about it. So I don't want to stand around on the field just trying to go over drill work. We'll get our reps in, but more importantly, they'll be with the strength coaches Friday and Monday, and it looks like we'll probably pull out early Wednesday morning and start the tournament Thursday.
Do you know who you're going to play? When they're going to find out? Sunday?
Sunday night is the selection show. I believe it's 10 Eastern, 9 Central. We'll have a watch party up there at the Argonaut Athletic Club, I'm sure. And, we'll probably plug in right there below the 8th seed, which is Savannah State or whoever won the SIAC conference, I think. We'll probably plug in the 7 seed. And if that's the case and Tampa's the 1, I think the 1 and the 7-8 are in the same bracket, and maybe the 5. I'm not sure how that is. I think it's 2, 3, and maybe 4 and 6, and then the 1, 5, 7, 8 in the 1 bracket.
Coach, a couple more questions. How are you different from when 15, 20 years ago? I know it was 2011, you won the title, 52-9 team. You might have thought you'd be back more, but it's so difficult. How are you different now, whether it's philosophy, analytics, practice schedule, demeanor? How are you different, and what kind of advice would you give the younger coaches?
Well, I'd like to say, and I hope my players would say, that I've certainly calmed down a bit. I would tell, but also I think you have to be who you are. I tell young coaches to be who you are and show your passion. If you're a more, calmer coach or a coach that doesn't, vocalize as much, then be that coach and do the one-on-one. If you like to be the team guy, be a team guy, but, be yourself. And I'd say that one of the main things that I've learned is it's about the relationships. You can't make them a pawn and a means to an end. It's about you and that player, and that player's got to feel you care about them. And I think, if you do that, they're going to go to bat for you. They're going to believe in what you're telling them but you got to show up every day. I don't miss a practice. I'm there every single day. KB and them get out on the road and do recruiting. And I used to do that when I was with Spooner. But I think it's important for the head coach to be there so they know that your eyes are on them, because the most important thing about that is you're writing the lineup. They know that. And if you're not there seeing the things and they're doing every day and the hard work and the development they're doing, they're not going to believe you're making the best decision, for the team. They're going to think that you're just going off of what you like and dislike, and it's not about that. And I tell them, listen, everybody's got differences, but really we do want to get along, and nobody wants to work around people that you don't get along with.
Right.
So if you're not on board with being a team guy and holding a high standard and trying to do the right thing with some integrity and character, we're all going to make mistakes, but we're not going to tolerate cheaters and liars and stealers. So
people aren't accountable.
People
aren't accountable.
Yeah, try to figure it out.
Coach, man, enjoy this last ride, however long it lasts. You got your son with you. Just try to soak it in. I know it's hard. You got so much responsibility, but man, it's a special time for your family and your team.
Sir.
Yeah, thanks, Coach. Congratulations.
Yeah, exactly. Go.
Thank y'all.
Bring it back home.
Yeah, go Argos. Go Argos.
Yes.
Thank y'all very much. I appreciate your support. I hope so.
Thanks,
Hope
Coach.
we do it.
Thank you,
Yes,
buddy.
sir.
Thank you, buddy.
Take
Go
care.
get 'em.
Bye-bye. Yeah, wow. That no wonder
Excellent.
he wins.
Excellent.
No wonder he wins, man.
It sounds like Spooner. Coach Spooner, when I was there, I got there in fall of 82. And what he's saying about Spooner is right. Hey, I had 3 C's and a C-. I was the only guy in the United States of America with all C's and was in there. And Spooner was not happy at all. But that was on me.
So yeah, that was on you. You took accountability. He made you take accountability.
Man, please.
And that's what good coaches do.
Exactly.
Don't let them, don't lower your standards just because others are
Exactly.
not willing to raise theirs. Let's talk about high school baseball here, local sports report. Softball, ladies first, right? Regional quarterfinals tonight, Class 6A, number 1 seed Pace, 25-2. That's right. Their only 2 losses were to who was it? Orange Beach, I think. Yeah, only 2 losses to them. They play number 8 seed Oviedo. Winner
around
plays
the Orlando area.
Yep, the winner of that game plays Niceville, Winter Springs next Tuesday. Tate plays at Haggerty tonight at 7:00. On the Class 5A, number 3 Gulf Breeze hosts number 6
Matanza.
Winner plays
Daytona
Fort
Beach.
Walton. Yep, winner plays Fort Walton Beach at Fort Walton Beach next Tuesday. Fort Walton Beach won last night, so Gulf Breeze looking to move on to the regional semis. Class 4A, West Florida beat Paxton last night 6-0. The number 4 Jags play at number 1 seed Wakulla next Tuesday in 4A. In the Class 1A, number 1 seed Northview hosts number 4 seed Freeport Thursday night. The winner plays Holmes County winner next Tuesday for the regional championship. That's right. There it is down there.
Orange Beach High School, he has written 42-1.
43 games? Say what?
42-1.
Are you kidding me?
Those are Pace's 2 losses in softball.
Yeah, that's the only pay. That's the only loss. All right, baseball, high school, local here in the Panhandle, the Emerald Coast, the Redneck River area, whatever you want to call it. We are here. Let's talk about 6A, Pace. 3, Fleming Island 2. Pace travels to number 1 seed Buchholz Friday. 5A, Scambia beat St. Augustine in a 5-4 matchup. They actually won 5-4.
Great game.
Scambia, that's right. You went to that.
Yes.
Scambia plays at number 1 seed Buchholz Friday.
Lincoln.
No, I'm sorry, Lincoln. Number 1 seed Lincoln. Friday. 4A, West Florida lost to South Walton 10-0. West Florida's done. 3A Catholic, number 1 in the state, number 4 or 5 in the country. They won 5-2 over Keystone Heights. You went to that one too,
Yes,
Hobbs?
Yes.
And they were down 2-0, but the bats got going second time through the lineup.
Yeah, the second baseman hit a blow. I think is still traveling out there. So, yeah.
All right, well, we're going to the Catholic High. They host Bishop Snyder on Saturday in the regional semifinal. Winner plays Bowles Trinity Christian winner, which that regional championship game will be just as hard as the state championships. All right, so that's 1A, J12, Holmes County 3. Number 4, Paxton travels to J Friday night as Paxton upsets number 1 Central 7-5. Wow. All right, folks. Thanks for tuning in to Local Sports Report. I want to thank my buddy, Coach Hobbs, for joining me, and Coach Mike Jeffcoat, UWF Head Baseball Coach, for joining the show.
Yes, sir.
Have a great sports weekend, everybody. We will talk to you soon. So long.
Go Argos.
Go Argos.
Arbitrium Consulting for all your fencing, landscaping, pressure washing, tree trimming needs. Call 850-483-0350 for your free estimates. Serving Pensacola, Gulf Breeze, Navarre, Fort Walton, Destin, Perdido, Gulf Shores, Foley, and the entire Gulf Coast. Arbitrium Consulting is owner-operated, fully licensed and insured. Call today, 850-483-0350, the official landscaper of Coach's Corner.
Barnes Heating and Air is a proud sponsor of Alabama football, serving the entire Pensacola community for over 50 years. Barnes Heating and Air is passionate about providing customers with world-class air conditioning and heating repairs, sales, and installation. Barnes Heating and Air is family-owned, insured, and committed to quality. For a free estimate, call 478-0141. Barnes Heating and Air is number 1 in customer service with service calls 7 days a week. Call Barnes Heating and Air, 478-0141, and roll Tide.
For over 30 years, you have seen the orange Beck signs all over the Gulf Coast listing a property for sale or lease.
Beck Partners is your trusted advisor in commercial real estate, property management, commercial and personal insurance. Senior Vice President David Valletto has been with Beck Partners since 1989. Take advantage of his wealth of knowledge by calling him today at 982-7352. 982-7352. Extensive experience in all aspects of leasing, sales, management, and site selection will make sure your expectations are exceeded.
Did you know there's a place where you can get good neighbor service and surprisingly great rates on your home and auto insurance? Yep, and that place is, ta-da, State Farm. Here's the deal. State Farm agent Will Rentschler is your go-to agent in Pensacola, Florida for the service you deserve at the price that you want. So stop shopping around. State Farm agent Will Rentschler has you covered. Call 850-433-4678 for your surprisingly great rates today. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. Legal disclaimer, individual premiums will vary by customer. All applicants subject to State Farm underwriting requirements.
Step One works so hard to get you in the perfect car.
Looking for a better car buying experience? With the Step One Advantage from Buick GMC, Fort Walton Beach, and Pensacola, receive no-hassle market-based pricing or incentives by pre-ordering. Looking to sell or trade? Our dedicated team will even come to you. Plus, every vehicle sold at Step One supports local charities right in your neighborhood. Experience the Step One Advantage at Buick GMC, Fort Walton Beach, and Pensacola today.
Hey, Bill, some game, huh?
I haven't really noticed, Paul.
What? The biggest game of the year?
I've been looking over my insurance. Talk about problems I'm trying to figure out.
Well, do what I did. Call the Seiler Agency. They showed me what I needed and what I didn't. They even saved me money. Now, instead of worrying about my insurance, I can worry about the big game.
Contact the Seiler Agency at 476-7443 for all of your insurance needs. Your independent agent for home, auto, boat, RV, commercial, general liability, life, and sound investment strategies. Call 476-7443 today.